Check out Isaiah 43:19, where God says, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Let that sink in for a minute. God is asking you to trust the process. When things don't go as planned, when someone walks out of your life, God is already preparing something bigger and better. But here's the kicker. Not everybody needs to know what God is up to in your life. Let's turn to Proverbs 12:23. The prudent keep their knowledge to themselves, but a fool's heart blurts out folly. See, when God gives you a vision, a glimpse of your future, it's not for everybody. Not everyone is ready to see what God is doing in your life. Some battles, my friend, are meant to be fought in private. The enemy only knows what you tell him. He's not all-knowing, contrary to popular belief. Sometimes we sabotage our own blessings by running our mouths too soon, telling folks what God hasn't yet told us to share. Don't let that be you. Hold on to your vision, let God work, and watch what happens when the time is right. Now, let's talk about people for a minute. If there's one thing life will teach you, it's that people come and people go. Friends you thought were going to ride with you until the wheels fell off, some of them will disappear. It hurts, I know. But don't get it twisted. God is always working things out for your good. He doesn't allow anything to happen by accident. Every person who leaves, every door that closes, it's all part of his grand design. Let me break this down for you. Here are 5 reasons God might remove someone from your life. And believe me, I've lived through some of these. The first reason is simple: to fulfill his divine plan. You see, God has a destiny for your life. And if there's someone in your world who's blocking that, they've got to go. Now, fulfilling God's divine plan is bigger than just reaching your goals or hitting milestones in your personal life. No, this is about God's kingdom, his purpose, and how your life plays a role in that. Sometimes we're so caught up in our daily struggles, our relationships, and our careers that we lose sight of the bigger picture. But God, he sees it all. He knows the beginning, the end, and everything in between. He sees how your life is going to impact not just you, but generations to come. Remember Jeremiah 29:11? For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's a promise, folks. God's saying, I've got this all mapped out for you. I'm taking you places. But here's where it gets real. Not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish with you. Some folks are seasonal. That's okay. Because God knows who and what needs to be pruned out of your life so that you can grow. Think about a gardener for a second. In order for a plant to thrive, the gardener has to cut away the dead or diseased parts. That pruning process might seem harsh, but it's necessary. It's the same with your life. There are people, habits, even mindsets holding you back from becoming who God has called you to be. And when that happens, God will step in and remove those things, even if you're not ready to let them go. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. Oh, no, it's tough. Sometimes God removes people you thought you couldn't live without: a close friend, a significant other, maybe even a family member. These are folks you trusted, loved, and thought would be with you forever. But if they're hindering God's plan for your life, they've got to go. And when they leave, it feels like your world is falling apart. But you've got to trust that God sees things you don't see. He hears conversations you weren't privy to. He knows the hidden motives and the ways in which this person might be holding you back without you even realizing it. Maybe that person is pulling you away from your faith. Maybe they're encouraging you to settle for less than what God has for you. Maybe they're simply a distraction. And sometimes it's not that they're bad people, they're just not aligned with where God is taking you. Their season in your life has ended, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But you've got to let them go so you can step fully into what God has for you. Look at Abraham and Lot in the Bible. God called Abraham to leave his home and go to a land he would show him. Abraham took his nephew Lot along with him, but eventually they had to part ways. Not because Lot was a bad guy, but because he wasn't meant to go where God was leading Abraham. And once Lot left, that's when God reaffirmed his promise to Abraham.